Okay, diving a little deeper into After Effects, I just want to show you a few tips and tricks that kind of help you. And plus, the biggest thing is rendering sequences that we're going to be utilizing with our 3D work. For instance, say you rendered out your scene from 3D. You got all these files here. This is why I said early in the earlier video, you don't want to be rendering any kind of movies or anything like that. I don't know if you really can actually. In my, I think you can in Max, but it's kind of tricky. So the best thing to do is render out frame by frame and importing these as sequences. Also, I want to show you masking. Where's it at? How to utilize a mask in here for After Effects and picture-in-picture. I used to do a lot of work for when I was in Nashville, some of the country music stuff up there, and I used to have to do a lot of After Effects stuff with like the country music radio, and basically that's all I was doing is like these little sequences down here. This is old too. This is like a couple, probably 10 years old now. But you'll notice all the movement, these assets, all these are assets. Basically, they would give you assets and they'd be like, okay, make 5-second blurb for, the website or for the television stuff coming on there. So basically, you have to get inventive with all these assets. Like this is Brad Paisley here. He's like a little asset here. The microphone's an asset. The movie theater's an asset. And basically, what I have is a picture behind that you'd have to composite all together. And then notice my camera movement is like pretty sporadic. It's not very good, I don't think. It's pretty fast. I think there was a lot of too much movement with these things. I think they could slow down a little bit. This is just one of them. So you kind of get the picture of all the different assets and all the stuff composited in there. And I would achieve this effect by masking a video behind it. Then you got, your text, stuff like that. So oldie but effective in terms of demo. So how would I set this up, First, let me show you how to bring in a sequence. So I got a new project, don't save, new composition, all my settings from last time. Say I wanted to bring in that frame, let's see, it was occlusion. Not here, it is, let me dig for it for a minute. I have everything located on different parts of my computer, so because I'm always needing this stuff. Get this over here, fall, we did this a couple semesters ago. Spring 2020, there it is. This was rendered out basically for a short sequence animation on occlusion map, and it was just a unicycle kind of going, animating its sequence. So I rendered it out frame by frame. We went over this in 3D 1 or the modeling class. Whenever you render these things out, you'll know how to name them to where they come out in sequence orders like this. And if they're all in this perfect sequence order like this, you can import these. After Effects will read this in as a sequence import. So basically, if I were to select the first one, I could import JPEG sequence. And what it's going to do, it's going to go all the way from 1 to 60 frames. So, got it right here. Now, if I just go fit to comp, the old trick, I play it back, probably really short, but it imports it as a sequence. So therefore, I have my little movie file. And I can set this to loop or however I want to. But that is the way we go about like importing these sequences in. So if I have another sequence, I'll just import it in, then I could drop it down here and like put it right here. And then you can start editing together. That's how we need to scale it up. But that's the way we do that. And then we can talk about some of these other effects and stuff like that. So let me get rid of this guy here. I am going to bring in this green screen, or this like movie setup that I have. It's like a news center. Where was it right here? I'll just get this green screen one. So I have this image here, and this is going to be my base image of what I'm going to do. This image is still a little small, so I'm just going to Control-Alt-F. Okay. So what I could do is just a sequence. Just make sure if it like did that, then I imported it as a sequence, which I did not want to do. So I'm going to delete this. File, import, file. Make sure that's clicked off. So now it's just basically one image that's going to like give me 30 seconds of action, or however long I want to do it. So you can use the masking tool. You can mask this square out right here if you want to. The pen tool works for that. So basically, if I were to go through here and select this, it adds another effect basically down here in your mask, and you can do all kinds of stuff with this. Inverted, voila, there we go. And you can kind of move these points around to your mask however it wants to go. We'll talk about the mask path. You know, we've heard the terms of like kind of rotoscoping, basically people walking in on a green screen. The company asks you to like, I don't want the background in there, and you can't key anything out. It's like sometimes it's just adding a mask to it and animating a few seconds to get the background out of it, and that's really difficult, and there's probably better ways to do that now, but this is kind of a easy way to do things. So now I would be able to drop a movie file basically in behind there, and let's see, desktop. I had this file up there earlier. This is a simple movie. See the composition, I've got it in behind it. So what if I just laid it over in front of there? I can kind of get the sizing down, you know. You could do this like this right here, to where you just kind of size it down and make it fit in there. But the point is right now, and I'll show you how to fix that, but the point is right now, even if it was in behind there, you'd see the movie kind of going on there. And sometimes you could scale it, you can crop it how you want to. Say if I wanted to make this the screen, now the perspective's not going to fit right there, then obviously I need to take a corner pin and kind of like make the perspective fit. But point being is if you go to your mask path, you can kind of adjust the path to however you want to. That's going to fit the movie back there. So let me back up and show you the green screen actually, because you may actually be able to utilize the green screen. Plus it looks kind of cool with this. You could actually take this right here and go ahead and feather this out. Kind of blur it in there. Doesn't really look very good. I gotta finagle it to get them how I had them with this right here. That feathered look right there, because I actually have the screen kind of shrunk down enough to where it gives it enough. So let me back up. I'll keep that movie file in there because I kind of like it. So here's a cool effect. When we're talking about effects, effects are, you can either find them up here. Now effects, if you have whatever selected here, like earlier in the first video I had everything to an adjustment layer, but for this effect I'm basically going to key light out, just a real quick key light out that green screen, because it's all one continuous color, and it's going to be really easy. So I'm just going to type in Keylight 1.2. I want to actually just add this to the I need to add it to this image right here. So you can either click on it and it'll add it to the image, or you can drag it over however you like it. But if you'll notice over here, your effect comes up here, which is part of this image right here. So if I'm going to key light out this green screen right here, so I can do it easier than kind of masking, I'll just select my green that, and now I have my video back there playing. My video still doesn't actually fit in the screen. Say if it was this is kind of just random stuff on there. It basically didn't really make a mask. It just kind of key lighted stuff out, because you can't really adjust that mask like I had it earlier. So you may find easy ways to do that or not. So I want to try to make this video kind of fit in there. So this is my movie that's playing behind it. You know, you could scrunch it down to make it fit, but here's something kind of cool. I'm just going to add a corner pin to this thing. I could have just double clicked on it, and you can actually move the perspective of the corner pin. It's still in behind the actual image, so let's say if I had something that was on a billboard that I kind of need to show a perspective, you know, you could actually like move the image around like that. There's other ones too, like I think the warp is, you can move different things in there, and I'll let you explore a lot of these. Distort, that one maybe under, yeah, you can explore these. There's a lot of them in here. Some of them I've never used before, some of them I don't know why I would use, but believe you me, there's something for everybody in there. So I'm able to kind of work it like that, because I don't really need to blur it. I just, you know, I need to show a sharp edge right there where I key lit that out. So that is how that is done, which is, I'm going to preview it, just kind of cache this out. And if you ever get a job working in movie set, you know, like the newscaster, like this stuff is done on the fly, and like, oh yeah, well we've got this box and this box and this box. Most every time you see any kind of newscaster or broadcast station, they're in behind a green screen, and they've got like the video playing in behind them. Exactly how this kind of works. So real quick with the masking and stuff like that, you could actually go, say I wanted to add a mask to this image right here just on the fly, instead of like doing the pen tool. You can actually use these shapes up here. Ellipse tool, rectangle tool. This is a cool effect here. Say if you just click on this ellipse tool while the image is selected, it basically will add an ellipse tool mask to the actual image itself. You can invert it if you want to. I don't need to. And then you can kind of go down here, and the expansion of it, there we go, like that. Then I want to kind of feather it out. You've got that nice cinematic look with the vignette around it. So yeah, but these are some pretty important things I think that you can kind of utilize, especially like doing little motion graphics and setting up your 3D models or whatever your sequences are. You can kind of look back on and do any kind of mistakes that you may see in your sequences. You can kind of mask out maybe and kind of put something else over it to kind of hide things. I've hidden a lot of things with masking. Like I said, if you were to mask out certain things, I've got this shape here. Now I've added 2 masks to it. I've added the mask on the mask, so I don't need to do that. I'll just show you with this one right here. You got this feather right here kind of coming in. You could actually animate all this stuff, like mask path. which is usually pretty intense. So I've keyed it right there, and I'm going to start moving these points around. It's in behind there, so I would have to figure that out. But as you can see now, my mask is kind of moving around. In other words, if you had someone running across and you didn't want the background, you could literally go in and mask the person and kind of animate the path as it goes along. So the sky's the limit with this stuff. So hope this helps. Hope this good advice, and thank you for watching.